Hey guys, so today's topic, I want to talk to you a bit about owning your triggers. So the importance of owning your triggers when you're doing shame healing work is essential, because shame healing work requires us to take an element of self-responsibility and know what is ours and what is not. So what I want to do is I want to kind of walk you guys down this path of what it takes in order to own the triggers that are in your environment and use them as fuel to make the changes that you need to make within, because those are really gems, right? The trigger that you're receiving from other people, whether it be people in the community or people not in the community, doesn't really matter. These people are really mirroring back to you what you are not tending to within. So, they say keep your friends close and your enemies closer. That's the exact reason why. We want to keep our enemies closer, because the perception of someone being your enemy is actually just a projection that you have of something that's unresolved within you. It's a split that you've split off, that you've rejected about yourself, and this person outside of you is actually stimulating that response inside of you. Okay, so the motivation behind creating this video is because I know that the work that I'm going to be doing and that work that I'm embarking on here is going to trigger a lot of people. And the me of 2 years ago would have been terrified and would have been insecure, and I never would have done it, which is why I didn't. Now I'm at a place in my career and in my life where, to be completely honest, I don't really care, because some things need to be said, and you know what? If you don't offend anybody, you don't achieve anything, really. At the end of the day, that's how it works. So I'm sorry if I trigger you, but just know that my intention behind what I'm doing and my big picture thinking behind what I'm doing is because I care, I'm compassionate, and I want to see you make a transformation that where you can feel happy, you can feel confident, and you can feel good to being in your own skin, right? All the work that I do is about taking off the mask. Let yourself be seen, show up in who you really are so you can have meaningful connection. That's the offer that I have for every single gay man that's following my work. That's what I want you to step into. So when the trigger arises in you, I want you to just pause for a moment and be like, what is going on here? What is this trigger about? Typically, people think it's about the other person. It's about, what are they doing that's pissing me off? But at the end of the day, the triggering that's going to occur typically in this work of unmasking shame is going to be when somebody gets close to your mask, to seeing you, to exposing you who you really are. It's going to be very, very triggering for you. So that's what's going to happen in the work that we're going to do, is that you're going to notice that it's some of the things I'm going to say, some of the comments I might make, they might push your buttons. And you know what? That's good, because I want you to pay attention to what's going on inside your inner process. Instead of focusing on me and what I'm saying, focus on what's happening inside of you. And 9 times out of 10, what you'll notice is I'm actually stimulating inside of you the resentment and the anger that you have towards yourself for betraying yourself by wearing a mask in the first place. Okay? That's essential in this work, is understanding that this is about you betraying yourself because you feel like that's what you've needed to do to survive and to preserve yourself in this world, right? We're never going to heal if we're always blaming the outside world for our problems and for making us have to wear our masks. And yeah, I went through a period in my life where I was so angry at everybody and so angry at the rest of the world for making me feel like I had to do this. But at the end of the day, it was my choice to put the mask on, right? And I know that's going to be triggering for a lot of people, because they're going to be like, well, no, I grew up in a place where if I was gay and I was out, I would get my ass kicked. Okay, I get that. I understand that. But at the end of the day, you pointing your finger at all the other people that made you put your mask on is not going to get you to a place where you can heal. And that's all that matters from this point forward, is your healing. It does not matter of anything else, what happened in the past. It's about moving forward and looking at how you can get yourself to a place of healing, okay? So the emotional response that's happening inside of you is always going to tell you that there is a layer to peel back, okay? If somebody says something that's completely unrelated to me, I will not have an emotional response to it, and therefore there's nothing to peel back. As soon as I know that there's an uncomfortable response inside of me, that's when I lean into it. And I'm like, what is this trying to teach me? What is there for me to learn? So own your triggers, because those are going to be the things that are going to set you free, right? Your triggers are basically the gateway to your liberation and to your healing. So we want to make sure that we really pay attention to them and we use them effectively. I want to share a bit about my story with this, because this was a real big one for me. And there's a couple, but I want to just share with the primary one. And for me, the biggest mask that I wore throughout my life is the mask of masculinity. I did not want to be seen as weak, feminine, any sort of traits like that. And I became very, very masculine. I played hockey. I had a motorcycle. I did everything that completely would mask any sort of femininity within me. And that's what I use my mask of masculinity for. So you can only imagine what very effeminate men and what drag queens and those sorts of things did to me back in those days when I had this real strong, tight-knit mask of masculinity. It was very triggering, because I would be like, why are you dancing around in a dress and acting feminine? Because this is something I've split from myself. So it was immediate rejection. It was immediate repulsion almost. And it wasn't until I started to resolve the things inside of me, the split that I had from my femininity, that I was able to start to accept these people around me. So these people were triggering me, but what they were triggering me is my inner realization that this is something that had to be healed. Okay, so once I started to do the work around accepting my feminine aspects and my feminine side, which we all have feminine aspects, we all have masculine aspects. It's not something that is uncommon. Everybody has it, right? So and most men, they wear the mask of masculinity to ward away or keep away their feminine aspects, right? But we can't have intimate relationships. We can't be nurturing to our children. We can't do any of those things unless we have that feminine duality within our being, okay? So for me, self-responsibility has been massive in my transformation and in my healing, because otherwise I was so angry, I was pointing fingers, and I wasn't actually taking responsibility for what was mine. And that's when the healing begins, okay? So I want to apologize in advance for triggering you, because it's going to happen. And I want you to know that if there's triggering that occurs and you project it onto me, that I'm not going to take it on, and I'm going to reflect back to you with compassion and love, the light to which you are, and not the darkness to which you're trying to project onto me. So just know that regardless of how you bring yourself forward, I will always be a compassionate response to you, and reflecting back to you who you are and who you're going to become, not who you're stuck in, okay? So feel free to share yourself with me in totality, but what I would ask is that you be mindful before you share about what's occurring in your inner process, and own your triggers, because that is going to set you free, all right? Yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you guys today. Sending you tons of love, and let me know in the DMs your thoughts and your feelings on this. What is triggering you in the gay community? Because that is something maybe that you need to go within and explore. Ciao.